evening, you're watching the news here on Mirror Now. I'm Mamata Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines. Are you waiting for people to die from dengue and chikungunya? Delhi HC slams local civic bodies over the unpreparedness to deal with diseases. Vegetable prices double and triple in Mumbai as farmers continue agitation against the Maharashtra government for the third consecutive day. Delhi government forced to act against arbitrary school fee hikes after court directive asks 458 private schools to refund excess fees. Schools flouting the order may lose their license. Medical apathy at its worst. Elderly woman forced to drag her ailing husband to the X-ray ward after the hospital authorities demand a bribe for the use of a stretcher. And a 9-year-old boy burnt on face, hands and stomach allegedly by his mother for stealing 10 rupees from her purse. Case registered against the lady. Main accused in Sonika Chauhan death case, Vikram Chatterjee's blood report reveals another cover-up by the Kolkata police. Report says the blood sample collected from Vikram was inadequate. Bihar Education Minister Ashok Chaudhary extends support to the Class 12th board exam arts topper Ganesh Kumar. Chaudhary said that Kumar is a genuine student. Straight up to our top story that we're tracking on Mirror Now. Are you waiting for people to die from dengue and chikungunya? This is the question. Delhi High Court asked the local civic bodies over their unpreparedness to deal with the diseases. Now, the bench also observed that it seems that the local bodies do not care about ordinary people in the city. The MCDs were wrapped on issues of waterlogging and asked why only posh areas are being cleaned in Delhi. Now, the Delhi High Court also went on to say that civic bodies are not concerned about people, that the civic bodies are extremely negligent here. This is the second time the Delhi High Court is wrapping the civic bodies. Previously, of course, we saw Delhi High Court slam civic bodies on the fact that the reports that they had given to the Delhi High Court were false when compared to media reports. Now, of course, the Delhi High Court slammed civic bodies yet again, this time a very strong statement coming in from the Delhi High Court. Are you waiting for people to die from dengue and chikungunya? That is the question the Delhi High Court asked the local civic bodies over their unpreparedness to deal with diseases. Now, the bench also observed that it seems that the local bodies do not care about the ordinary people in the city. The MCDs were then wrapped on issues of waterlogging and asked why only posh areas are being cleaned in Delhi. Now, we have Anjali, an activist of Praja, on the phone line, joining us on the phone line. Anjali, tell us this, the Delhi High Court slamming civic bodies yet again. This time around, the Delhi High Court has gone ahead and said that the civic bodies don't really care about people.
Evidently, you see, if you see the data on what our civic bodies have been doing, there has been 10%, 25%, 12% increase in the complaints on, mosquitoes and complaints related to mosquito nuisance, fogging, pest control, and then also related to collection points. The places where they dump all the garbage, those points are not being treated, not being attended to. Complaints have risen, and if you see the number of questions and the number of times the councillors, the corporation has raised them, is abysmally low. For 11,000 complaints, our councillors have asked just 159 questions in the entire year. That shows how, there's no connect at all between what the people want and what our corporation is giving them.
Also tell us this, Anjali, time and again the Delhi High Court has slammed civic bodies. This time around, the Delhi High Court has gone ahead and said, asked this question actually, why only posh areas are being cleaned? So what are the problem areas, do you think, in the city?
Problem areas, if you see, this is one problem, the solid waste management, the cleaning part of it. This complaint is high in all the areas, in all the zones of Municipal Corporation of Delhi. This is one thing which has remained high for all of them. There are certain other complaints, which you will see are high in south, is maybe in the south or maybe in the east, but complaints related to solid waste management and mosquito fogging has remained high in all the 3 MCDs and in all the 12 zones of MCDs.
Anjali, also then, do you see a repeat of what happened last year? We know that chikungunya epidemic was at its worst, at its peak in 2016. Do you see a repeat of that? The monsoon has just begun.
I mean, isn't that obvious? If you have complaints rising, if people have the same problem, nothing is being done about it, we are still not aware, we are still not, we are still not raising it. How is it not important for us when people are dying every year? If nothing is done, the same situation is bound to come.
Do you see it getting worse? What do you think the civic bodies must do at this point? Because time and again, the Delhi High Court has slammed them for inaction.
If the administration is not taking steps, which is evident, what are our representatives doing? Are they raising questions? Should not they be raising questions? Should not they be following up with the administration that if you were ordered to do something and it is not being done, obviously the court now has to interfere and make them do it. But was it not the responsibility of our elected representatives to take it up every now and then? Why is it that when the court or the administration or the elected representatives start talking about it only during May, June, July? Why don't we talk about it in winters? Why don't we start working on it? Because this is not something which is new. This happens every year. People die, chikungunya, dengue, malaria. We keep talking about it every year, and the numbers show an increase every year.
Absolutely, the numbers might just increase and get worse this year. Anjali, thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now. But a very, very strict warning coming in from Delhi High Court. They're slamming civic bodies yet again. This time around, the Delhi High Court demands answers and asks civic bodies why they don't care about ordinary people and why they're only cleaning posh areas of Delhi. In fact, we'll also listen in now to Monica Arora, who is the lawyer.
The Delhi High Court today has asked all the 3 municipal bodies whether compliance is being done to pick up garbage around the city, due to which diseases like chikungunya and dengue are spreading rampantly in the city. In fact, I have with me the lawyer from the municipal body side, Ma'am Monica. Please tell us more about what are the steps that you will be taking now.
See, this is a PIL on which Delhi High Court has been constantly telling the MCDs to file status reports as to what we are doing regarding, number 1, removal of garbage from areas, and number 2, desilting of drains, so that mosquito breeding in terms of chikungunya, malaria and other diseases, they cannot be continued. So we have filed our status report saying that our domestic breed checkers are going house to house, checking and disinfecting the areas. Secondly, we are desilting the drains regularly. Now, certain reports have come to the notice of Delhi High Court saying that such and such areas still need to be addressed, the grievances. So we have taken that into account, and we are sure, we in MCD, and we are going to take this cleanliness drive on war footing.
Media reports constantly show that there is garbage lying around, while when the municipalities are asked to file a response, they say that everything is cleaned up.
You know something? So, Delhi High Court is not addressing the issue on an isolated basis. It is looking at the overall issue in Delhi as to what should be the comprehensive planning for Delhi, and that needs to be addressed. Hence, they have told MCD, Delhi government and the central government to file their reports on that, and we are doing that.
But ma'am, there's a master plan 2021 according to which plan development and desilting drains, in fact making of drains where there are no drains in unauthorized colonies, supposed to be done. So why isn't the municipal body corporations altogether, 3 of them, following the master plan 2021 when it is already there in place?
See, master plan 2020 is being followed 100%. What we are doing is, right now we are focusing ourselves at larvae elimination so that this mosquito doesn't become adult mosquito and it infects people. If in certain places certain discrepancies are left, we'll address them on war footing, I can assure you that.
we've already been seeing that cases of chikungunya and dengue in the city have been rising, and just right now we received rains as well, summer rains, and you saw waterlogging throughout the city. So did the Justices bench also make an observation of that?
See, it was clearly mentioned that despite numerous court orders, no action plan has been submitted by any government department. In fact, all the status reports show that everything is perfectly all right, which is contrary to the reality which is there on ground. So therefore, taking into that account and the urban planning, it was clearly stated by the High Court that the urban planning was done without any regard to the constitutional provisions, and urban planning was not done in accordance with the DMC Act, and there was no provision for the parking being made, the sewerage system. So everything was completely there as was there in 1980s. It is 2017, so you need to change accordingly, which was never done.
It is also not just the cases of chikungunya and dengue. We see a lot of garbage lying around outside in the cities and the waterlogging. Plus, you also spoke about parking issues. But encroachment also remains a big problem, and that also comes under the municipal corporation.
Yes, in fact, it was clearly stated by the observed also by the bench of Justice Geeta Mittal and Justice Hari Shankar that the problem of this problem has arisen only because of the presence of unauthorized colonies. Due to the formalities and the other portions of the government, unauthorized colonies are rising day by day. There are now about 1800 unauthorized colonies. So how do you go in those colonies when you have no sewerage, when you have no water pipes, no connection? So how would you ensure that you will make sure that the roads are there? If the roads are not there, then obviously dengue and chikungunya and the garbage problem will rise.
High Court, they're demanding answers from civic bodies yet again, and this time around the Delhi High Court has demanded answers from the civic bodies. In the meantime, the experts, of course, believe that this time around, if this continues, then the situation of vector-borne diseases in the city will only get worse. On the other hand, the lawyer representing the municipal bodies, of course, said that they will be looking after issues on war footing basis, something that we'll keep a very close watch on here on Mirror Now. Away from that story now, after Mirror Now's relentless coverage highlighting water crisis in Gurgaon, the Deputy Commissioner of Gurgaon has written to the Hydrology Department asking them to submit a report within 7 days regarding the tanker mafia and illegal supply of water. Now, the DC letter comes after BJP MP Raman Malik, who was part of the urban debate on Gurgaon water crisis, wrote to the DC regarding acute water shortage and irregularities due to tanker mafias in Gurgaon.
Now's relentless coverage has once again forced the authorities to act. The Deputy Commissioner of Gurgaon had written a letter to the Hydrology Department of Gurgaon asking for a reply within 7 days regarding the acute water shortage in Gurgaon and the prevalence of water mafia in this region. In fact, his letter came right after BJP spokesperson Raman Malik, who was part of our urban debate on May 11th, where we discussed the acute water shortage in Gurgaon, had written a letter to the DC on May 12th. And this is the letter that I have in my hand, where it states that in regard to the water situation in Gurugram that was discussed on a television debate, and various complaints had come from residents of Huda sectors and other private colonies. It was only after this that the DC had sent a notice to the Hydrology Department asking for a reply within 7 days. In fact, the Hydrology Department in its reply has said that 22 teams have already been formed to probe various cases of tanker mafia that is prevalent in this region. In Gurgaon, this is Apurva Sridhar for Mirror Now.
In fact, the BJP representative Raman Malik, who wrote the letter to the DC, joins us on the phone line. Mr. Malik, thank you so much for joining us on Mirror Now. First of all, tell us this. What exactly have you written to the DC in this letter?
See, there are various points which were raised in the debate. And the points which were raised in the debates, there were certain points which were logically very appreciable. And as a person from the political party which is in power in the state, it becomes my duty to raise such issues on a war footing. Now, what has happened over a period of time, as we've seen in Delhi, and a lot of population which has come to Gurugram is migrated from Delhi to Gurugram. Now, Delhi in the last 15 years, 14 years has seen a rampant corruption, and it has almost become a way of life in Delhi under the Congress regime and now the Aam Aadmi regime that tanker mafia is a prevalent truth. Now, we cannot let that happen in Gurugram. This government under Manohar Lal ji is one which does not tolerate any form of corruption, and this is also a form of corruption. So this would not be tolerated. Secondly, when we saw the entire events that were happening and this, the continuous busting of main supply pipes, it raised an alarm that always a pipe is going to burst where there's a heavy density. So, looking at that, and after your the debate on your channel, it became evidently clear that there was something hanky-panky going on. So, next what we did was I wrote down a letter to the DC and requested him to have certain checks and balances done. The content of the letter is there with you. And I had suggested him certain points, which the Honorable DC is doing his best on. He is already ordered for placing CCTV cameras at the main points where these tankers are filled. They are trying to have all kind of checks and balances. I've requested him to change, to have two sets of tankers, which one takes treated water from the STP to construction sites or the other sites, and the other one is for human consumption in any form. So that also we have requested him. The third and foremost, which is that the filling points from the rather than the treatment plant or rather than the Basai plant, it should be shifted to the end of the supply pipe, so that these people have to fill up their tankers from the supply end point, so that they do not try and bust these pipes again. Another very important point that I have requested him is that all these tankers operating should be somehow brought to books for legitimacy in supply, and they should not be there doing this, that they give a 50 rupee slip to the treatment plant, fill the water and sell it at 1,000 rupees. This is pure looting for the public. So
right, Raman Malik, if I may read out a couple of lines from the letter that you have sent to the DC in the last, you've said, in the last 2 months, the way water supply pipeline have been damaged is a cause of concern. This must be investigated if it happened with malicious intent, as it would directly benefit people into the business of water tanker supply. So this is, while this is a good first step, when can we expect the investigation to begin?
See, a team, when we were having a debate on your channel, the subsequent days, there was a team of MCG official, Huda official, and from the police, which did a tracking of the entire pipeline from the end point till the treatment plant from in Basai. Now, they found certain things and they are doing work on it. They are investigating, and also they are trying to identify the illegal borewells that have been dug in Gurgaon, so that these illegal borewells and this mafia which operates from these illegal borewells should also be curtailed.
Also tell us then, Raman Malik, in the meantime, in that interim period, before we expect some kind of action being taken by the DC, you've written a letter to the DC. In the meantime, the problem of acute water shortage still persists.
No, I would not say that the problem is persisting as it was in those days when we had the debate. There has been subsequently a major work initiated into this scope. All breaches have been rectified. There were certain problems which were raised because of the issues between the maintenance agencies which collect the maintenance fund from the residents of private colonies and their payment towards the bills of the Vidyut board, which were not happening, and there were some problems there. Now, that is one scope of problem that was there, which obviously the government cannot rectify because this is a dispute, and dispute between people and the private collection agency, and then further on. So they have to somehow manage this, and there are people on the ground, party people on the ground are working with these people, and they are trying to get the matter sorted out and have a public consensus made. That is one portion. The other was that in the last 3-4 days, as per my information and the tracking that I've kind of set up with my party colleagues in Gurgaon, is that we have started taking note on where the problems are, and we try and get it rectified. So on those accounts, what we found out was Sector 72 substation, a feeder plant, had got, there was some problem in that, because of which the power supply to Sector 55, 56 station was not happening, in adequate capacity, which was affecting water supply also.
Right.
So we have got that also sorted out. So the point is that we are trying to be one with the public and get the things sorted out.
Okay.
It takes time, but it is a collective effort that can only change things.
Point taken. Raman Malik of the BJP, thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now. It's a mega Mirror Now impact there after the urban debate that highlighted these issues. Raman Malik of the BJP has written to the Gurgaon DC highlighting these issues and talking about water tankers violating the law. In the meantime, let's also listen in to the hydraulic department on these developments.
हमने सुप्रीडेंट इंजीनियर को, MCD सुप्रीडेंट इंजीनियर को लिख दिया है इसके बारे में जल्दी से जल्दी इस पे कार्रवाई करके और इसके बारे में अवगत कराएं, और डीसी साहब को इसकी कॉपी कर दी है। इसमें रेगुलेशन के लिए हमने 22 टीम्स बनाई हुई हैं, जिसमें जिस एरिया का जो टीम पड़ता है एरिया जिसमें, तो वो उस समय पे उस पर कार्रवाई करती है। इसमें टाइम टेबल हमने डीसी साहब की जो कॉपी आई है वो साथ लगा करके भेजा है, तो उसके साथ में ही डीसी साहब को भी अवगत करा दिया गया है कि इसके बारे में अवगत कराएं, जिससे डीसी साहब को हमने इसके जवाब दे सके। गर्मियों के महीने में जो पानी का कंजम्पशन है वो बढ़ जाता है, और जैसे जैसे जो गर्मी कम होती जाएगी तो ये रिकवर होता जाएगा। वैसे भी सप्लाई रेगुलर आ ही रही है, इसमें कुछ छोटी मोटी कमी है तो उसमें समय समय पे इसके बारे में उनको बताया जाता है कि पानी की सप्लाई बढ़ाई जाए।
On to some breaking news now. Amid growing incidents of cow vigilantism cases in the state, Haryana state leaders are planning to go on a 3-nation study tour to study cows. That's right, while they have failed to stop instances of cow vigilantism in the state, ministers are now set to jet set to New Zealand, Fiji and Australia. That is the latest we're getting you on Haryana ministers' cow junket. Amid growing incidents of cow vigilantism cases in the state, Haryana state leaders are planning to go on a 3-nation study tour to study cows. Now, while they have failed to stop instances of cow vigilantism in the state, ministers are now set to jet set to New Zealand, Fiji and Australia.
जनता के खून पसीने की गाड़ी कमाई पे मौज मस्ती करने के अलावा कोई भी इनका मकसद नहीं है। आप देखेंगे मुख्यमंत्री खट्टर साहब ने पीछे सिंगापुर, हांगकांग का टूर किया, उससे पहले चाइना गए, उससे US गए, कनाडा गए, और जब भी गए हर बार आके प्रदेश की जनता को केवल मात्र झूठे आंकड़े दिए कि लाखों करोड़ रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट आएगा। जैसे कि अभी आपने देखा सिंगापुर, हांगकांग के टूर पे एयरपोर्ट पे आगे खट्टर साहब ने 20,000 करोड़ रुपया कहा था, लेकिन जैसे ही वो चंडीगढ़ तक पहुंचे वो 18,000 करोड़ रह गया था। तो इस तरह की बातें अक्सर सरकार की तरफ से हो रही हैं।
On to another breaking news coming in. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis will meet the protesting farmers at 10 p.m. today. He will discuss their terms and conditions and try to broker peace. In fact, Mandar Fanse joins us on the phone line in just a bit, but that is the latest news that we're getting you. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis will meet protesting farmers at 10 p.m. today. He will discuss their terms and conditions and try and broker peace. Remember, farmers have been striking there in Maharashtra. It's day 2 of farmers' strike. Farmers going to go on an indefinite strike if their terms and conditions are not met. But now CM Devendra Fadnavis will meet the protesting farmers. Mandar Fanse joins us on the phone line. Mandar, tell us, the CM finally is going to meet these farmers, protesting farmers now?
Right, it seems the government is really serious now about dealing with the farmer crisis and the kind of agitation which farmers are doing across the state, since especially the city like Mumbai is really facing acute shortage of vegetables and milk supplies, and all those milk supplies and vegetables have been completely stopped by the farmers coming inside the Mumbai. So by and large, the government was not really responding to all these various strikes which were happening across Maharashtra. But now it seems the government has put together its plan and then acting towards at least talking and having a kind of an attitude towards the farmers.
Now, so far, like you rightly pointed out, the Maharashtra CM has been blaming the opposition for creating a ruckus because of this farmers' strike. We know that if the terms and conditions are not met, then the farmers will go on an indefinite strike. So tell us this, how much of an impact will it have on citizens, especially in the state, if the farmers continue to strike?
See, listen, the farmer strike is already at its own pace, and because of that pace itself, only within 1 day or 2 days' time, the Mumbai city seems to be really facing trouble in terms of getting vegetables and especially getting normalcy in terms of supplies of milk or vegetables. Apart from that, by tonight, 10 o'clock onwards, CM Devendra Fadnavis will be meeting farmer leaders who are basically galvanizing all these various smaller factions of the farmer sangatans across Maharashtra, and they will be meeting CM along with their premium demands, especially one demand being the short-term demand being the waiver for the farmers across Maharashtra, since the Maharashtra is facing a farmer crisis since long time. And then that's why it's very interesting how CM is dealing with this kind of a crisis, and CM will be meeting to the Kisan Kranti Sangatan by tonight post 10 o'clock at his own residence, Varsha.
Okay, Mandar, thank you so much for getting us those details. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis will finally meet the protesting farmers at 10 p.m. today. He will discuss their terms and conditions and try to broker peace, something that we'll keep a close watch on here on Mirror Now. On that note, it's a wrap on the news. Stay with us.